Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brad Swanson, love and communication coach. And I wanted to talk about something that is really basic, really simple, but really profound and makes a huge difference in your life if you use it correctly. It's one of those things that has literally transformed my life because I use it on a daily basis. It's just normal now, right? That would be communication. So, what am I talking about when I say communication? Like, what am I talking about? People say, oh, I know how to communicate, or do you know how to communicate? Do you know what communication is? And, when I was younger, when I started to really dive into this whole discussion, I realized that I had no idea really what communication even meant. People think it's words, right? You're saying stuff. You say words, you say things. It's not just words, it's actually also listening. It's listening, and it's where you're listening from, right? Are you listening from your past? Are you listening from the present? Are you listening from nothing? Are you listening from where you came from? Like, are you actually hearing what someone's saying to you, what they're intending? All of these different things are the different levels and layers that go with communication. It's multi-layered. It's so many layers to communication. It's so rad. And the reason it's so important is because if you're not a good communicator, which predominantly most men are not, some women aren't either, but men are much worse at this predominantly. Your relationships are gonna suffer, your romantic relationships, your friendships, your business relationships, because it requires communicating for everything to happen, right? And so it's about taking responsibility in a new way where communication is exciting. It's fun to be a good communicator. Like, I love communicating now as a man. It's one of those things I had no idea that was going to actually happen, but I love to communicate. It's one of my favorite things. And I took responsibility so that I realized that if something doesn't work out right, if it doesn't go my way, I always look at myself first, right? If the ball got dropped or somebody was hurt emotionally or something happened or misunderstood, I always look to see, did I drop the ball? Did I leave them feeling that way? Was it something I said or some way of being that I was that had them not feel this way or understand what I was trying to relate? Because it makes my life a million times easier now that I've taken responsibility for communication. So, it's there's so many different layers to communication. It's unreal. And unless you're really curious about it and get interested in it, your life is going to be muddled up. There's a lot of men I've recently talked to, clients and potential clients and stuff, who've admitted, right? They're like, I don't know, I didn't realize that I was a bad communicator. I realized, they're like, I have a hard time with it. I have a hard time with communicating. Okay, well, why is that? What's that about? Why can't you speak your truth? Why do you have a hard time saying what you need? You have to go in and understand yourself first, right? You have to understand what your wants and your own needs and your own intention is before you can say it in a really healthy way with love. Not with anger, not with aggression, but with love and clarity, right? It's a big deal. And so, most of my clients and my relationships, people around me, most of them they always tell me, wow, I feel so loved and so just taken care of when I'm around you, when you tell me stuff and stuff. It's because I've worked really hard at learning this skill. So communication is one of those things that will literally change your life. It will literally change your life if you become deeply interested in it. And all the different layers of communication, because it's not just about talking, it's not just about listening, it's about feeling into someone, it's about energy, it's about all these different things that play into it. So when you're listening to someone, are you listening for really what are they trying to say? What's their real intention? Not based on the past, not based on their past or your past or some bullshit thing that happened, but really what are they trying to communicate in this exact moment? They could be brand new, right? So it's super fun. It's incredibly expansive, and it never gets old. So it's always, communication to me is like an art form. It's like the greatest form of art of all time. It's like jazz and music and all these things, and great artists, like the way people communicate with their hands and their emotions and their feelings and everything that's going on, and being able to decipher all those things down into the actual intention of what they're either trying to say or what you're attempting to say, what you're trying to convey to a person or the world, and how important that is. And so what I would just say is I throw a challenge out to you men out there specifically, because we have sucked so bad at communicating, right? Is to look and see, are you willing? Are you willing to like get in touch with yourself and what's going on with you, and then be able to vocalize it in a healthy way? It doesn't make you a puss. It doesn't make you a wuss. It doesn't make you a sissy to be a good communicator. It makes you freaking badass, a woke man. A badass woke man. Because women want to know what you're thinking. They want to know your real thoughts. They don't want to just be, told, oh, whatever's fine, or no, I'm fine, no, I'm fine. They know you're not fine if you're not really fine. They can tell. Everybody can tell. So be willing to tune in and dial in and get real with yourself and be able to speak your truth from a loving place, a healthy, loving place, so that people actually understand what your intention is and where you're coming from and what you're wanting to accomplish in the world on all different realms, not just accomplish, but like in the overall accomplishment of your intention that you're setting for the world. So get curious about communication. Study it. Read books on it. Look and see if you're coming from love or fear when you talk. Look and see if love or fear is the lens that you're communicating from. You're afraid of people finding out about you? Are you afraid of getting hurt? Are you afraid of speaking your vulnerable emotional truth with your person, with your woman, with your family, with the people you care about? You don't want to hurt their feelings, so you won't speak your truth. You just box it in and let it fester and fester until you're gonna explode, until you have an implosion, boom, which is what a lot of men do. So my suggestion would be is to stop that, knock that off, and get interested. And you can work with me. You can find someone like me. You can contact me, and we can dive in to see if you are interested in really becoming a good communicator, a fantastic communicator, because your life will change. Everything, the landscape shifts, and then all of a sudden you will be very interested in how you're leaving people emotionally, how their experience, and then you'll see that your life will start to really work in all ways. So it's really dope. So I would just say, be willing to check out, are you a good communicator?